The desert night sky was ablaze with a million stars, reflecting the electricity coursing through the Coachella audience. Taylor Swift, bathed in the golden glory of the spotlight, blasted out the final lyric of Love Story. But tonight felt different. Her voice quivered, revealing a rare vulnerability beneath her often polished stage demeanor. As the last note faded, the audience fell silent. Then a guy emerged from the side of the stage. Travis's face was marked with apprehensive eagerness. The crowd exploded in applause, and cameras flashed like a swarm of fireflies. Travis, who is often at ease in front of the camera, appeared unusually reserved. He approached Taylor, the cheers fading into a weird silence. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a single long-stemmed sunflower. Sunflowers were a sign they both shared. A quiet vow made during their first date in a hidden sunflower field. Taylor's eyes welled up when she recognized it. A surge of emotions washed over her, including the exhilarating intensity of the performance, the unexpected sweetness of the occasion, and a sense of bittersweet nostalgia. The song they had just performed was Teardrops on My Guitar, which was inspired by a previous heartbreak. Taylor came to a realization while standing under the huge desert sky. Though the song spoke of a previous love, the love she had now, the one standing before her with a sunflower as a beacon of hope, was strong and genuine. A single tear escaped, leaving a sparkling trail down her cheek. It wasn't a tear of sadness, but of immense delight and thankfulness. A big smile spread across her face as she grasped the sunflower, its golden petals brushing against her cheek. The audience, recognizing the shift in emotion, yelled in approbation. Coachella was more than simply a music festival at that point. It was a stage for a real-time love tale. Taylor raised the sunflower aloft, a simple expression of love that shone brighter than any stage lighting. The music grew louder, and she launched into the next song, her voice stronger, clearer, and filled with a newfound happiness that resonated under the vast desert sky. The desert breeze ruffled Taylor's hair. As the last notes of her epic Coachella show faded, the crowd cheered, sending a wave of affection over her. Despite the ecstasy, a tear streamed down her cheek. Taylor's performances lacked the emotional vulnerability she usually demonstrates. This was raw and unguarded. Earlier that day, a wave of hatred had swept across her social media. Cruel comments aimed at her anxieties have obscured the pleasant reaction of her new record. When she stepped onto the Coachella stage, the weight of those remarks threatened to overwhelm her. But then, during the song Love Story, which documented the beginnings of their love, she noticed him. Travis, her boyfriend, stands to the side of the stage, drenched in the golden lighting. He held up a sign, not with a generic love message, but it was loaded with the lyrics she'd shared with him while working on the record, as well as the uncertainties and vulnerabilities she'd faced. The crowd gasped when Taylor locked eyes with him. The sign stated, "Your narrative is amazing, even the dirty bits. Write your own happy ending." She let out a stifled sob. In that instant, the negativity vanished. Here, beneath the enormous Coachella sky, stood her strongest supporter, reminding her of the strength in her voice. Through her tears, she revealed a big smile brighter than the desert sun. She sung the next lyric with renewed conviction, her voice rising over the darkness. The audience, recognizing the transformation, exploded in cheers, their affection, a contrast to the earlier animosity. Later, backstage, Taylor wrapped her arms around Travis. Tears welled up again, this time from appreciation. "How did you know?" she asked in a whisper. Travis grinned. "Because your story is my story too," he went on to say, "and it has a damn happy ending." In that embrace, beneath the dying Coachella lights, Taylor knew he was correct. The world could pour its negativity at her, but their love, their own unique love story, would always be her safe haven. As Taylor's epic Coachella show came to a close, the desert wind blew over her hair. The audience yelled, a million voices reflecting her own elation. Despite the success, a tear escaped, following a shimmering path down her cheek. Backstage, the typical post-show excitement was muted. Her teammates hovered, their smiles strained. Travis, her boyfriend, wasn't present. Worry bit at her. He'd been her rock during the arduous tour preparations, his steadfast support providing a constant melody in the midst of chaos. Suddenly, the room grew silent. A lone figure emerged from the shadows, illuminated by the warm glow of fairy lights hung across the food table. Travis was clutching a guitar with weathered wood and narrating memories of innumerable. He started strumming a familiar melody, the beginning chords of Mine, a song he wrote for her when they were first dating. Taylor had tears welling up in her eyes. It was their song, a monument to the love that had grown under the turmoil of her job. His voice, warm and gruff around the edges, filled the sterile space, creating a tapestry of shared experiences. As the final note hung in the air, she let out a choking sob. He was here, amidst the chaos, to remind her that she wasn't alone. He was more than simply her boyfriend. He was her biggest supporter, confidant, and the voice of reason in the midst of her celebrity. Travis approached her with a soft grin, his guitar serving as a bridge between them. He wrapped his arms around her, providing a safe harbor. The noise of the crowd, as well as the pressures of celebrity, faded away in that moment. When she returned to the stage, her voice sounded stronger than before. The Coachella crowd surged, their excitement echoing the rekindled love that had occurred backstage. This wasn't just a concert, it was a love celebration, demonstrating the power of a meaningful gesture, even in the midst of Coachella's insanity. The desert sun pounded down on Coachella Valley, but the searing heat was no match for the fire that crackled on the main stage. Taylor Swift, a vision in glittering emerald fringe, sang the final soaring note of her hit song. The audience cheered, and a rush of admiration washed over her. Despite the roaring crowd, Taylor's gaze searched the VIP section, a tinge of concern pinching her brow. Backstage, Travis, her boyfriend and fellow musician, watched the live feed with trepidation. Today was their anniversary, and he had prepared something spectacular that would leave Taylor speechless. But with the Coachella throng a churning sea of humans and the constant hum of security, he wasn't sure his surprise would go off smoothly. As the final echo of Taylor's song faded, the stage lights dimmed. A silence swept over the audience. A collective inhale precedes the next performance's exhale. A spotlight turned on, exposing a lone individual in the center of the stage. Travis appeared, his guitar hung low and a determined expression on his face. A murmur of recognition echoed across the audience. Then his fingers strummed the first notes of a song they both knew well, a love ballad penned together in the early, hesitant days of their relationship. The melody, both sweet and humorous, hovered in the air, a dramatic contrast to Coachella's customary loud offerings. Taylor had tears welling up in her eyes. She had no idea Travis would do this, sing their song in front of 100,000 people. It was a monument to their love, a whispered declaration. As he sang the chorus, his voice hoarse with emotion, the large screens flanking the stage sprang to life. Instead of the typical concert visuals, a montage was shown. It was a mosaic of their stolen moments, including backstage jokes, crazy pictures on tour buses, and peaceful picnics under starry skies. Each image is a love letter brought to life. The audience was enthralled by the unexpected romance blossoming before them. By the final verse, tears ran down Taylor's cheeks, and a dazzling smile broke through the shimmering. When the final note faded, there was a moment of startled calm before the audience surged. It wasn't the normal ear-splitting clamor, but rather a surge of cheers mixed with loving wonder. Taylor hurried across the stage, barefoot and breathless, wrapping her arms around Travis. He hugged her tightly, murmuring reassurances into her ear. In that embrace, beneath the vast Coachella sky, the music, lights, and entire event went away. It was only them, their love story on display for all to see, a tribute to the truth that the most spectacular gestures may grow in the most unexpected of